Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and a few weeks ago I made a video where I made this sleeping pad. I basically added its normal Thermarest ridge rest sleeping pad that I cut in half, and then I stuck some silver, basically like a tarp with aluminum on one side so it's reflective, and it's black on the other side. So you can see this is the black side, on the inside is the aluminum reflective, radiant, like heat reflective. And then I would lay on this side. So the idea is that this would protect me from the ground. This is what would be on the outside while it was attached to the outside of my pack. And then while I'm lying on it, not only do I get the normal insulation of the foam, but also the radiating, my heat bouncing off of the aluminum, coming back and hitting me or my clothes, or, making the pad warmer. So anyways, I use some, I don't remember what it's called. It's this stuff. It's Gorilla Tape, but it's like Gorilla Tape that lasts a very long time, or is, it's almost like super glue. Once you put it on, it's hard to get off, even if it's even meant to be used out in like rainy weather and stuff like that. So I used that, and some people were worried that it was going to come off, but you can see this stuff is really well on there, even though it has very little like surface area that it's attaching to. But I do get the sense that eventually it would come off as there gets dirt, and dirt collects in that point and kind of attaches to all the adhesive, and slowly it would come off. So there's also the tarp material here is not very strong. I don't know if you can see, but this is just from basically my recent trip where I walked across the super volcano, just from brushing up against things, and it's already starting to fall apart. And so I really like this setup. It's really lightweight and really compact, and it does seem to keep me warmer than it did before. But I do think I need to improve it, basically. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to make this again, but I'm going to do it better. And one of the main things I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the tape across the entire back. And this tape is very tough stuff. So it'll add a bit of weight to the sleeping pad, but I don't think that's necessarily, well, I guess that is a bad thing, but it's worth the cost. It's worth the benefits that I get from doing it. So anyways, here we go. So here is the tarp that I used last time. You can see where I cut out the portion for the last pad. And I've set the new pad, or rather the other half that I hadn't used yet, on here where I think I'm going to cut it. Last time I included this thing. I just didn't worry about taking it off, but I'm not going to include it this time. I'm going to only cut around where, basically fit it. I might make it a little bit smaller so that it sits on top, right? And then it has a little bit of pad between the tarp and the edge so that the tape can catch there as well as back when it wraps around. So anyways, I'm going to get to cutting. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use my handy dandy, one of my magical items that I keep in my coat at all times, is a Sharpie, and basically I'm just going to mark around it and then cut it separately. Okay, so it's all marked, and I'm going to take this off now, and I'm going to grab my Leatherman Wave, which is a multi-tool, which has many different tools on it, and one of them is scissors. So I'm going to just cut on the straight line that I drew. I might actually make it a little bit longer than I drew, because this pad has to roll up, and one of the other problems that I had on that is that I taped it while it was out flat, and so when I rolled it up, it got too tight. The tape was holding it too tightly, and the corners would get pulled out. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer so that I can apply the tape while the mat is actually a little bit rounded off. So I better make it longer on that end. So So here's the rectangle of tarp that we have cut out, and now I'm going to start attaching it to the actual sleeping pad. Okay, so this thing tends to want to roll in like this, so that makes this the outside, and we're going to flip this around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one corner basically where I want it with a little bit of pad on both the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to tape this corner basically to create the first secure point. And of course I need to turn it around. Okay, I've got my corner. Now, what I think I'll do is, let's see. Maybe I'll do half of this corner. I'm going to cut this eventually, but I'm not going to do that yet. But I'm just going to secure the one side of the corner. Okay, now I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to bend it in on itself. I'm going to roll it up actually. And the point of this is so that I can actually measure. See, look at that. I rolled it up and now there's that much extra pulled off, right? Before it was overlapping by like this much, but now there's this much pulled off. Now it probably could be pulled tighter than that, so maybe I should just stay at the current height, let's see, how's that going to work? All right, well, I'm just going to guesstimate here and just cut it a little bit shorter than it is. I think this is not going to turn out to be, something that needs to be exactly precise. Okay. Let's just try that out again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this edge, this other side here. Okay, now I'm going to tape this corner, finish that off. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it in sections. The issue here, we have to figure out how much slack we want. And if I have too much slack, then when it's flat out, it'll be weird, I think, with the tape on top of it. And also, if it's all rolled up really tight, then it's not going to be able to go as tight as it normally would. So what I think I'll do, rather than going like this, is I'm going to go here, and then in between, right, that kind of thing. So kind of inverse, no, I don't know what you'd call that. But here we go. Now I'm going to try and go across the entire thing like this, so I have to kind of estimate how much I need here. This is difficult. So I'm giving it a curve while I'm doing this to hopefully help us be more accurate here. Not perfectly accurate, but more accurate. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know about this. So I guess it's probably going to be fine. It's probably going to be fine, you guys. Just look at all this slack here, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. The tape will hold it all down, and it's not the part that I'm sleeping on, so a little bit of overlapping on itself won't be a problem for me. How to do this, so I'm going to bring in another sleeping pad so I'm not getting dirt in my tape. I think this is going to work. I think it's gonna work, you guys. It's a little bit awkward, but it's gonna work. And now I'm gonna tape the corners of the other end. Still pulls on the ends a little bit, but not as bad as it used to be. I think I should tape these ends now. There we go. Okay, we'll tape the other end. See, look, it pulls out, so that's unfortunate. Not really something I can fix at the moment because this tape is serious stuff. it's not coming off at this point. If I roll it this way, then it's not nearly as much of a problem. So I think I'll just have to roll it that way. And now I will apply tape to the rest of it. I have to find some way to keep this semi-rolled up while I'm working. Alrighty, so I got some straps. Hopefully these will work pretty well. Let's see, which way did I want to do it? This way. So then I'm going to let it loosen up a little bit. Enough, there we go. Hopefully this is long enough. Okay, time to use legs. Okay, so now I got a strap keeping that curve in it, which is good. And we'll start. Oh no, the wind's coming. The wind! So I'm going to put a little bit of overlap in the tape to kind of help with making sure dirt and water don't sneak themselves in there so quickly. Anyways, I think you get the gist of what I'm doing here. I'm just going to keep going around the whole outside and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so here's what we got so far. The whole back side is taped up and I think I really like it. It feels like it's going to be really tough. You got to make sure you press down and make sure you get all the holes out in between the tapes. And I'm going to roll it up. And you can hear some air gets caught in there. So anyways, it still rolls up perfectly good. Nice and sturdy on the outside here where it's going to be running into branches and also being in contact with the ground while I'm sleeping on it. And the only thing I have to do at this point is I want to run tape along each of the edges on this side to basically just make it look less messy. But I only have this much tape left. I had a whole thing of tape, right? I put a whole thing of tape onto this, so that's also a lot of weight. I can tell this thing is probably almost twice what its weight originally was, but that's fine with me. This thing is super light. You know, it was light when it wasn't even cut in half, so doubling the weight is going to bring it back to the weight that it was, which is not very much, and also give me the benefit. You know, it's still not going to take up all the bulk because, you know, anyways, I'm just trying to say it's better than before I cut it in half, because when you cut it, when it's in its full, it gets really bulky. And so I'm at the same weight as a full, but it's in half the size and much more durable. So Anyways, I'll see if I have enough tape to go around these edges. So this is going to be close, I think, whether or not I have enough tape. So we'll do the short ends first. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I don't think we got enough though. It's a bummer. Come on. Oh no, we hit the end. Oh, it's not going to reach even this one, so. Bummer, dude. Oh no. Well, I almost had enough tape. I just had to do 2 more runs along the long side and it would have been complete. But basically it's going to do what I needed to do, and there's not really any downside to what I left except it looks a little bit messy, and there's a little bit more room for dirt and water to get in there without sealing up that edge. But ultimately I think it's going to do really good. I could just use it like this, and if I ever get the chance I'll pick up some more of this duct tape if you'd like to help me with that. I guess you might say flat broke. It's not totally true. I have some crypto, but it's not crypto that I want to be spending. So if you want to send me a few bucks so I can finish this project, you can go to cahlen.org/gift, and I'll be sleeping on it, and I'll give you guys an update, you know, in a few weeks or a few months about how this thing's going. So that's the sleeping pad upgrade project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider sharing it. If you'd like to help me out in a more substantial way, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/gift. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, whether publicly or privately, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/one-on-one. Thanks again for watching.